Hi everybody, this is Dan from Basic Camp Dan. Just doing a little touch base, and also I'm going to make Stroganoff, easy recipe while you're camping. It's just a few ingredients, and it actually calls for just an easy McCormick seasoning pack, which makes it so much easier when you're camping. And yeah, so let's get started. The first thing, I do want to thank you all for watching my last video. I got over 200 viewers, which is my record times almost 3 or 4, which is going to help me be able to give back, which I've been working pretty diligently. I think I got like 10 jars of peanut butter and some canned goods, so definitely working to give back. Definitely my expectations went through the roof, and so thank you. And second, I'm gonna get everything started. I'm here at right on the Merrimack and right outside of St. Louis, and just doing like a little picnic, and I'm making homemade stroganoff. Super simple, super delicious, and I think you'll like it. And all you would need is like a Coleman stove, and I'll go over all the ingredients, and yeah, so let's get started. And I got this crazy girl Scarlett with us, of course, and she's gonna smell all the good foods, aren't you, girl? This is the Merrimack, and it's about 6 o'clock p.m. It is starting to get darker sooner, but I'm gonna just chill out on the Merrimack and make some stroganoff. So the first thing you need, if you're doing this while you're camping, is just a little Coleman stove. These are about $50 at Walmart or Target. Or if you're doing it at home, all you need is a stovetop. Pretty simple, so I'm gonna get this set up real quick. So the recipe actually comes off of its McCormick beef stroganoff. You can get this just about anywhere. And so the instructions, which I'm going to put into the comments, is 1 package of this, or this is just what you'll need. 1 tablespoon of oil, boneless sirloin, or you can, a lot of people use ground beef. I don't know if I'm using sirloin. I think it's just like a strip steak, but it's really good. Water and sour cream, or 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sour cream. And so the first thing we need to do is get my cast iron preheated, and then I'm going to cook the steak. It says cook it well done, but I prefer to cook it like a medium well, a medium rare. So when you do simmer this, it is going to cook the steak through and it won't be overdone. Here's the steak right here. It I prefer kind of like more of a, like, you don't need to do like a high-end steak, because you're going to simmer it and it's going to make it tender with the so I say like sirloin is your best bet, or ground beef's delicious with this. And so what I got here is I'm actually going to put it into the cast iron first. And the reason why I do that is because, 1, I'm not going to get another dish like a cutting board, so I'll use the cast iron as a cutting board. Essentially, you just want to do it into like chunks like this. Something like this one needs to come down a little bit, so I like kind of more like a cube, but you could do strips too. It's all about your preference, but I'm just about close to putting the water in and then the mixture. And now that I got the meat done, I'm gonna have to put in the water. So per the recipe, I'm going to need to do 1 cup of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the water in there, and I'm just gonna eyeball it just because I know what a cup looks like. But if you don't, then I would go ahead and just get a measuring cup. So yeah, just go ahead and put about a cup of water. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the seasoning mix. And it's all gonna come together. And so yeah, it's been about 5 minutes and it's all coming together. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down. Just because I'm gonna have to boil the noodles. So let's go ahead and let that, I'm gonna turn that off. And the nice thing about using a cast iron is it's gonna keep this hot even with the burner off. So the next thing you're gonna need is some, I like to use egg noodles, but you can, some people do rice or some people also just eat it by itself. But I prefer egg noodles with my stroganoff just because it kind of, the egg kind of ties everything together a little bit better. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I use about half of it, but you can use less or more depending on how much pasta you want. And so you're gonna need a big pot, and then you're gonna need about 4 cups of water, and get that boiling. And then when this gets done boiling, we're gonna mix it in with the stroganoff mix, but we still have to add the sour cream. So that's gonna be our last step. The trick to really good pasta noodles is making sure that this water is at a good boil before you put the noodles in. If you don't heat up this water beforehand and you put the pasta noodles in, most likely your pasta is going to be mushy. And while I wait for the noodles to cook about 8 minutes, which it depends on how well you like it. I kind of like mine more al dente, so about 8 minutes. I'm going to take just a quick stroll at like a little pocket park. So I'm going to watch the sunset. You gotta love hanging out by the water. When you get the noodles done right here, just set them aside. Next thing you're going to do is add this sour cream. And so you're going to add, I add about 1.5 cups. I think the recipe says a little bit less, but I like a little bit creamier, so you can always add more too as you need. And so I'm going to go ahead and add the sour cream. Sorry, Scarlett's being. Go ahead and add the sour cream, stir it, make sure it's stirred nice and well. Scarlett. Give it a good stir, and then we're going to go ahead and fold it in. Sour cream is one of those that you don't want to over stir because you'll start breaking down the cultures. So essentially you're just going to want to fold it in, and then I'm going to turn it back on low heat. And it's coming together. Once it starts to bubble a little bit, you can go ahead and turn it down to low, and I'm going to add these noodles over here. And just a good old fold, just keep on folding it in until the noodles are covered. And essentially you could go ahead at this point and turn the skillet off, because essentially you don't want to keep this warm. That's where a lot of people mess up with stroganoff, is they leave the skillet on, which will overcook the meat, break down the cultures of the sour cream, and then also the noodles will get overcooked. So essentially, once everything's mixed together, you want to just turn it right off. You don't want to leave it on. And that is looking pretty complete. I'm just going to let it cool off a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in a bowl. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and sit down real quick, and we're going to munch in. So I'm going to eat this. Super simple recipe, good for like a long camping trip, and you can make a bunch of this too. Like if you say you're gonna have 3 nights camping, this is a good recipe that you could just make and then just reheat on the fire. And I'm gonna go ahead, and I got some fresh French bread here. Just go ahead and give it a rip, and go ahead and get some of this. Go ahead and make a little sandwich out of it, just like that. And cheers, folks. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. And didn't really have an adventure this weekend, but next weekend I will. And or next 2 weekends I'm gonna have a good trip. So I'm not sure about next week, but in 2 weeks I'm gonna have a good trip. And cheers, everybody.